About David Blaine and what he does. Watch this.
Stand close together in case I fall over. Watch.
What up with that?
What we didn't show you at the end of that clip, the one girl with the white T-shirt ended up pissing in her pants. Yeah, we cut that out.
That's a better trick. What are the reactions? Those girls were clearly drunk, so it doesn't really matter. But what are the reactions that you get? I mean, do people just? That's the coolest thing about you is that it's on the street. There's really no trickery. It's something that we can all relate to in a bar or something, and you see people just freak out.
The secret is first I take them to a bar, give them a few shots.
Get them liquored up, they believe anything. But are you ever afraid that somebody's just going to pass out, or what's, aside from pissing themselves?
When I was first really getting into doing it more seriously, I was doing magic to this girl, and all of a sudden, I looked at her really freaky, kidding around but playing it out. And she suddenly fell over and had an asthma attack. And it was, that was crazy, you know, that was when it started. Then I used to stare at everybody like that.
Try to make them all keel over. How did you get started into it? Was there something, like we see this, you know, this footage now of Tiger Woods when he's, you know, this big hitting golf balls. I mean, did you, like, bury yourself under toys and stay there for a month when you were a kid? I mean, how did you get...
It sounds silly, but yeah, when I was a little kid, I would do, you know, things like put myself in a closet for 2 days or 3 days at a time just to do it. My mom would bring me drinks in the closet. I would only go out to urinate. But also, I was afraid of my bed. I thought there was bed mites on it because I had heard something in health class when I was like 12. So I laid on a wooden floor for like a year. And that's kind of when they all started, you know?
Yeah. Dude, when I was 4, I was like eating dirt and crapping my pants, you know, and you're doing elaborate tricks. Are you an illusionist, a magician, and are there people that think that, you know, you're the devil?
No, I'm none of those, really. I hate when people think any one of those three. I'm just a performer.
That's it?
That's what I consider myself.
But clearly there's so much, like, sleight of hand.
Well, I work on things like controlling the ability with your hands or even controlling your body. You know, I work really specifically on things about that.
Right, but some of the card tricks you do, like, can you go to a casino in Vegas? Did they let you in?
Not anymore. If I was a casino, I wouldn't let me in, you know.
He got blackjack 42 straight times. To me, the real question for us is, like, is it real, is it not? I know I'm somebody that when I see, like, your DVD or watch your specials, I'm like, I choose to believe it. I don't want to question it too much.
That's what magic is supposed to do, is it's supposed to make people wonder. You know, it, like, brings this sort of baby instinct out of people. Like, when a baby sees something levitate, he just believes it. He doesn't need to look at it and examine it. He's amazed by it.
How do you handle the skeptics that want to dissect what you're doing, trying to figure it out?
Well, there's always going to be skeptics, and there always will be. Yeah.
I got a call from David Copperfield to host his special. I don't know if you guys remember this, the Tornado of Fire.
Sorry to hear that.
Well, I really... It really wasn't something I really wanted to do. I mean, I didn't know about it. You know, I was like, I'm just playing videos at MTV. I don't need to do this. And he's like, no. He got on the phone and he called me, you know. And what am I going to say when he's on the phone? The guy's magic. He, like, turned me into a toad. If I said no, I'm like, okay, I'll do it. What are you going to do? I'm going to stand in the fire. It's going to be crazy. Just, you know, tell people at home what you're watching. And I'm like, okay, I go down there. And to me, the whole thing was very set up. It was very fake. I never actually saw him do anything. All of a sudden, I wasn't watching him. I'm watching a monitor. I'm hearing things played out. And it just bummed me out.
It wasn't even live or anything?
Well, I was outside. It looked like a movie set. And all the action was inside. And I didn't know it. But they wouldn't, all of a sudden, at the 11th hour, wouldn't let us into the building because only his special camera people and technicians. It just seemed phony to me.
Right.
You know? Do you have a beef with him?
I don't really think about it too much. You know.
I think he's a beef with you.
Does he?
He was saying a couple things about you.
Really?
Yeah. You do your magic outside, you know, and
right.
I think he does more of his stuff inside.
Right.
Is one. I think the outside stuff we tend to believe a little bit more.
Right.
Correct or no?
So what was his beef?
I don't know. He just... I don't know. He said the F word, mentioned. No, I'm sorry. David has a book coming out, ironically on Halloween, which is the anniversary of Houdini's death.
Right.
The book is Mysterious Stranger. Is it true that with this book, when it comes out, one of the things that you can do is, throughout the book, scattered are clues, apparently, tell me if I'm wrong, that will lead somebody to buried money that you buried? $100,000?
$100,000 buried somewhere in this
You
country.
went out and buried $100,000?
Well, it's a gold amulet that was handmade, and when the person gets that amulet, they call a phone number that's in the box, and that's worth $100 grand.
How tough is it to find these
Or
clues
they
in
can
the
just
book?
keep the amulet, and I'll keep the 100
Yeah,
grand.
and go to a pawn shop and hawk it. We got to take our first break. This is David Blaine, and we'll be right back with more right after this on Last Call.
Give me a minute.
Yeah.
All right, so look, ready? Here's what we do. Just focus on the glass. Ready?
Tomorrow, the most anticipated event
I was here with the man who fathered my son.
leads to a major revelation. Soon you'll find out who's the daddy.
Oh my God.
Days of our lives.
100 feet high in the air on top of a pole in Bryant Park here in New York City. We're shooting the show actually a couple days before he's doing it. So
Due to an injury in training, the pole is actually 90 feet now.
explain exactly.
Not that that makes that big of a difference.
And this
but
whole stunt, this is vertigo.
the name of this stunt or challenge, which by the time you're watching the show, I'll have been up there for about 13 and a half hours.
Now explain it. You're going to go
It's
up.
in Bryant Park. You should all come now.
So it's a pole. It's in Bryant Park. It's 34 hours, and it's just standing, braving what? I guess the elements and exhaustion of
Well,
standing.
imagine just trying to stand on this table for an hour and then multiply that by 35 hours. That's what it is. And then after I've stood there for 35 hours with no safety net, nothing beneath me but pavement, if I fall, that's a bad thing. After the end of the 35 hours, they're going to line cardboard boxes up in Bryant Park, which is on 42nd Street, and I'm going to jump off of the pillar in a suicide position, land flat on my back, smash through the cardboard boxes, and then hopefully get up and walk away.
I have a
But here's
question.
the problem.
I got a question. Wait,
Okay.
Why? Why this?
Why do you go to
Are you
sleep?
braving something that you're fearful of? Heights? Are you scared of heights?
I keep challenging myself. Yeah, I do have this crazy fear of heights, but I've worked on overcoming it. That's what I do. I used to be afraid of spiders, so I bought a whole bunch of tarantulas and put them all over my bedroom. You know, with the ice, what happened was when I was in the block of ice, I had to stand in one place for 62 hours, and the only thing that I had was this hat with a pad in it so I could lean my head against the ice. But what I didn't realize was that my legs stopped working at about the halfway point.
What do you mean they stopped working?
I had no mobility. The legs stopped functioning because the cold air from the ice
But you couldn't really
dropped.
collapse because there's no room, nowhere to go.
Right. Some people are trying to debunk it and say that it was warm, but if you look at the DVD, it shows the whole footage of me, and I have no legs. That's not acting. My eyes are gone. There's nothing there. And if that happens on the pillar, I cannot jump off the pillar, which means I have to collapse off of the pillar. And if I fall straight down and I can't land flat, you snap your back, you break your neck.
Do you
That's
have
instant.
do you have like a death wish? I mean, why? Why?
It's the opposite, I think, of a death wish. It's like when you do these things, you really start to appreciate life more.
How do you train for something like vertigo? Have you been standing up for a couple weeks? Or?
Yeah, well, basically we went to a warehouse in Vegas, and we had an 18-foot pillar, which was a practice, and I stood on it. But after 18 hours, I couldn't take it anymore. I figured, why put myself through this torture twice? So I backed out. But I think it was at that point was when my legs were getting weak. So the idea is to overcome that, and you kind of just focus and do it.
This is, I believe, you sort of, I guess, preparing for vertigo high on a rooftop. Let's go ahead and roll down this clip.
Vertigo is defined as a dizziness that one gets that's associated with the fear of heights. I've never feared heights. Vertigo often results in an illusion that one's surroundings are spinning either horizontally or vertically. feel what is commonly called attraction-repulsion. The idea that at any moment I could end it all pulls me forward. My survival instincts hold me back.
Since we're shooting out of whack here, and you are at what, probably in your 13th hour on top of the pole, where are you now, let's say, or where do you think you're going to be mentally?
I'm praying to God that it's not windy, it's not rainy, it's not cold.
And what if it is?
Then I'm fighting for my life like a little infant.
Could you simulate some of those things when you're practicing? I mean, what if?
Yeah,
what
we
if
had
someone
a
like
wind
it's New York?
tunnel.
What if someone's got a? I don't want to give anybody ideas, but.
No, right now I'm probably, let me think, 13 hours into it.
I mean, how well mapped out do you have
I've
it?
been standing in one place just like this. Right now my legs are probably really shaky. And I'm probably sitting like this, just hoping that I've got a firm position in case a gust of wind comes. And I'm waiting for the morning because it gets warm at about 8 a.m. in New York. So I'm counting every second, hoping that there's people down there that I can look at or something.
All right, and ultimately, if and when you make it, what do you hope everybody who maybe came down to see you or saw the news on it, what do you hope that they learn about you from this challenge? What do you want them to take away? That he's amazing, that he's super fit and can stand a long time?
Now, what I personally get out of it is, for me, when I watch these things, to me, it's amazing to see little old women with boys of all different races. You have different religions there, Hasidic Jews with Palestinian, everything
And
all
you become
mixed.
sort of the common link for them to come together.
Well, it's just like entertainment, you know? They get to watch this performance piece and they forget about who hates who or who's better than who or any of that stuff, you know?
Okay, on a lighter note, you date a lot of hot chicks. Does the magic help?
Oh, yeah, I actually want all hot chicks lining up.
Yeah.
No.
You must go out and just, do you use it to get chicks? Like,
No,
hey, I got a deck
I'm
of cards.
I'm a pathetic romantic. If a girl likes me because of my magic,
Oh, that's
I'm
so
like
good. That'll get him laid
afraid.
like that. That stuff right there, he's so good. I've got I was a fool, and I read this about you. I don't know if it's true or not. I have a tattoo of an ex-girlfriend. It should never be done, by the way. It's just not a good idea. But I hear that you have like 3. You just didn't learn your lesson. I at least learned my lesson.
Yeah, I keep thinking this is the one. No, I've got 1, 2, 3. But the last one, Josie, was the one that I had over my hair.
You have the whole...
I've got a J tattoo. I mean, it'd be foot, but...
It's just a J?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, she was kind of the love, you know, of my life. She was everything. But after the ice, she wouldn't stay with me.
Well, I guess you can understand a little why. I mean, you're a weird partner to have, I guess. Honey, I'm down on a pole for the next 2 days.
Yeah,
I
I think it's tough on people.
I think it's hard for people to understand a lot of the sort of mental side of this and the manipulation that you can have over your own body, like when you were in ice. You know, people thought, you know, maybe they're trying to disprove it by having heaters and stuff. But I know you spend a lot of time, at least I've read, like meditating and things like that. Is that true? Does that help?
Yeah, also, like, I would fill up a bathtub with ice, and I would just practice in there, training hours and hours a day. I heard that Houdini had done it, so it sort of sparked an interest. And I would work on controlling my body, you know, different things about your body. Like, there's this old, ancient effect where you can actually slow your pulse down, which is pretty cool.
How do you do that?
You just breathe. I'll show you. You want to see?
All right,
Just feel my pulse. See if you breathe slowly, kind of.
I'm really feeling.
Do you feel it right now?
Yeah. Yeah, just slowing down.
You feel it.
Oh. But it like your pulse just stopped right now.
Feels like it's...
It totally just stops.
That's it.
That can't be healthy to do on a talk show. Honestly, it just completely shuts down. Is that just...
There's this way that you can control your heartbeat.
But that's your pulse, and it just stops.
Here. Look. No, here. Just look.
Oh. Dude. Dude. Oh, dude.